and lead you in the right way. That's what his word does right here. And Paul is really taking this idea of being unequally yoked from what Deuteronomy, the wisdom that God's giving the children of Israel as they go into the land, this idea of separation. And what he's saying here is that you don't want to you don't yoke the ox and the ass in the King James, Deuteronomy 22:10, the ox and the donkey. It's a mismatch. Has anybody ever actually seen an ox before? Anybody? Like, no one. Anybody seen a picture? Do you know the animal? A couple of you, right? They're huge. I mean, these animals are like, it's not less like, oh, wow. No, these are big. These are beasts of burden. Anybody ever seen a donkey? Right? Who went on the field trip with the kids, on the homeschool co-op? They saw the donkeys there. As you look at a donkey and you're like, that is surprisingly small. Right? You look at it and you're just like that's it. That's like a big dog. And you're thinking, but it's interesting. You look at these animals and there's, they're a mismatch. One is huge, one is small. You don't make some custom yoke to kind of connect these things together because you're going to have problems. One is bigger, its legs are longer, it's stronger, it's going to move faster. The other one, so the one will be up here and kind of be like this. The other one's going to be like this. If you try to yoke them together, straining, and then what's going to happen? They're not going to plow straight. Like, you're not going to really accomplish what you need to accomplish, because what's going to happen? You're just going to end up going in circles. The big one's going to take over, and you'll be fighting against it, and your cornfield's going to look like that. Going to have problems altogether, and it's painful for the animals. They understood all of these things. And here's the thing. He's saying we don't want to be yoked unequally to unbelievers. In fact, what we want to do is we want to be yoked and connected to Jesus. Jesus said, come unto me. We already quoted it, Matthew 11:28-30. All of you who labor, that are heavy laden, he says, come to me. And he says, take my yoke and learn of me. He says, I'll give you rest for your souls. Because my yoke is easy. My burden is light. And the yoke, it's interesting when he talks about the yoke being easy, is that the yoke was designed by a carpenter, and they would shape these things specifically to fit each animal so that it wouldn't chafe them, so it wouldn't be uncomfortable. And what he's saying, my yoke is easy, is that it fits perfectly. So, it's interesting that when it speaks about Joseph, Jesus' father was a carpenter, and Jesus, no doubt, here's the carpenter's son, Jesus, and growing up in the trade and all these things, is that many believe that the specialty of Joseph and then, Jesus was making yokes. It was the word uses, it's kind of the finished carpenter kind of thing. So a lot of people think, that we don't know it for sure, but very likely that their specialty was yokes. That's the tradition in the church. They believe that. And here Jesus saying, I make good yokes. I know what I'm doing. My yoke is easy. It's going to be the right fit for your life, the perfect fit. And what he's saying here in the analogy is that where you don't fit, it's with the unbeliever. And what he's going to explain in verse 14, 15, and 16 is you don't fit because that's not who you are. That's not your nature. That's trying to hook up an ox and a donkey. It's not meant to be. And so we ask these 5 questions, to kind of reveal just how incompatible you are. And again, God's just way smarter. What he's trying to do here is save us from pain, from frustration, from difficulty, from all of these kind of things. And in love, he's speaking the truth to us. He goes, this is your nature. He's like, don't be unequally yoked together with them. You don't have fellowship. No righteousness with unrighteousness. They're not right. It's not who you are. In verse 16, he's going to say, actually, what you are the temple of the living God. As a church, individually, your nature, see what he's saying here is your nature, who you are, determines your association.